Give Back Garage is back at work helping the local community. And in this video, we're changing the catalytic converter of this Toyota Matrix.
Before we start, I'm going to lay out what we got in the package, double check to make sure it looks similar to what you currently got, and also make sure that you know what you need to take apart before you start doing it. Next up, we're going to attempt to get these bolts off that hold the first cat on. I already pre-soaked them with some penetrating oil, and we'll really hope that none of them snap. Right here you can see we've loosened up the cat. Wasn't too bad actually. Now we'll go down and do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're going to do the same thing we just did in the front. We're going to take off these two bolts which connect what we're going to call the mid pipe that has all the cats on it. So we're going to undo this. Hopefully we get it off without breaking anything. Alright, so here's what you don't want. Worst case scenario, one of the studs broke. So we gotta fix that. We'll probably have to drill it out and tap it. So, not too surprised when it comes to exhaust. Glad we only have one to do though. So next up, we're gonna release it from the exhaust hangers. Highly recommend one of these. I don't even know what they're called, an exhaust hanger tool. Basically slips behind it, presses it in, and pops it right off, which is so much easier. You got to get a helper too, it's nice. So much easier than using a screwdriver. All done. I'll drop it out. Old one is out. Now I'll put the new one in, call it a day. The new part is a two-piece as opposed to the one that we just took off, which is a one-piece mid-pipe. Do that primarily for shipping, so it looks a little different. Got one more step, but we're gonna have to put a little clamp in it. I might weld it, but we'll see. So we're gonna install this up in here first. We're going to put this on the hanger. It'll help us hold it in place. We don't have to do so much juggling. And next, we're just gonna reconnect it to the front with the bolts that we just took off. And I'm really hoping it goes easy. So we're gonna tighten these down, kind of alternating back and forth, because you don't wanna totally tighten one side down, so we want it to seal up there, but we're also going to tighten it down until these springs collapse all the way down. And what that's going to do is going to keep pressure on the bolts so that as the metal expands and contracts due to the heat, it'll keep that nice tight seal. Might be kind of hard to see, but there's in between the two flanges, there's a little spacer that holds it tight up against the bolt. So it'll give you enough pressure to keep it in there. Got the rear mid-pipe section here. Got this crushable spacer gasket. That basically meets up in here. As you tighten it down, it keeps a nice seal. So we're going to install that. First we're going to slide the pipe into there. Then on this side, to make sure, remember our little seal, just going to mate them up You may have to wiggle it around some more. So here's that spring tension bolt, and unfortunately the capture nut in the back of the exhaust flange snapped off. And so what I got here was basically a flanged nut. We're going to put that over this washer and should keep it nice and tight. May not even need the washer. Let's try to get rid of that. We'll see what we can do. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get the other one tightened up a little bit first. Get that seal sucked up in there a little bit better. Got the new bolt, exhaust flange bolt on there, both sides. Now it wants you to do, you totally can use an exhaust clamp, but since I have a welder, we're just going to weld it up. Got it all buttoned up, 2 flange bolts tightened, O2 sensor installed, welded right there, don't judge me. Back over here, the 2 new exhaust flange bolts. I'm gonna drop it down, clear the codes, take it for a test drive. What in my shoe?